Welcome back, welcome back. This is day 18. We're still working on the protagonist in an effort to get you moving forward in your novel journey, or in perhaps writing a longer short story or a story in a series. You're going to take a deep dive into the world of your protagonist. We've taken a look at a childhood incident that shaped their character and their inner flaw. We have spent a few days with them before the major incident or the inciting incident of your novel, or the major incident of the story they were in before. Today, I'm going to encourage you to write a story, which is probably going to be quite short compared to the length of a novel, of what happens if your character says no. There's a moment in every story where the character has to make a choice. And in a novel, that inciting incident, that moment when they get kicked out the door, when they realise they're at a point of no return and they have to go forward because there are stakes and something's at stake. And for a novel to work, the character has to say yes. They have to say, yes, I'm going to step out of my door. Yes, I'm going to I can't face the consequences, and I'm going to fix this, or take up this challenge, or go on this road, whatever it is. And they say yes. I want you to write the story today of a character in a story you've written before or in your current novel. If they wimp out, if they say no, if they look at the challenge ahead of them and they make excuses and they turn away from the challenge that would lead them down the path of the novel. So you're writing an alternate history of your character, or an alternate future history. I know Asimov would be proud of me. I want you to write that story, and of course it's going to be kind of a dead end to your novel, because the point of the novel is that your character says yes, they go on this journey, they discover things, they have adventures. This one, I don't want you to stop it dead when somebody says, come on, let's join me on this adventure, or someone says, you need to go and take the ring to Rivendell, and I don't want you just to have them say no and close the door, literally. I want you to spend a bit of time with them afterwards and imagine what their life would be like, what the consequences would be. Do a bit of a It's a Wonderful Life thing. Show us how their lives would change, the lives of the people around them would change if your character doesn't take up this challenge. This can be a really useful way to figure out what really is at stake in your novel. We're always talking about raise the stakes, raise the stakes. It can be hard when you're in the process of writing and you know who your characters are and you know some plot points that you want them to have, and you kind of maybe even know how it's going to end. It can be hard to remember that those aren't really the stakes. Telling the story aren't the stakes. We don't react to things because something's at stake. We don't react to things because the plot requires it. We react to things because something's at stake. So if your character wimps out, turns away from the challenge, goes back to everyday life, what consequences would that have for them? Do a little survey of their future history. And that can help. The contrast between that and what you want to write in your novel can be it can be like a bright light showing you what the stakes really are. Channel It's a Wonderful Life if you need to. Use an angel, whatever you need to do. I think this will be a useful exercise for you. I also think if you're writing purely short stories, this can be a useful way to take one of your stories, write it differently, and see where you missed the mark in the first one or where you hit the mark in the first one, and how boring it would be if our characters never took up the challenge, which will remind you as you go forward how important it is for the characters to really embrace the challenge that they're going on in spite of their misgivings. You can give them that moment. You can give them those moments where they want to turn away and they want to do what you're going to do to them today. And then as you go forward, you will always remember what could have been for that character. And I think that will help us to take our characters in the direction we want to go in. So today you are writing an alternate future history of your character if they turn down the challenge of your novel's adventure or your previous story's adventure or the story you want to write if they don't do the thing that starts the story off. Good luck, good writing. I'll see you in the comments, and I'll see you back here tomorrow.